everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for a special Gubat Banwa stream. I am so excited for this group of people, this game. It's all I'm talking about for a reason. I'm absolutely obsessed. And running the game is our special guest for today, none other than the creator of Gubat Banwa himself. Wax, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Ooh. Yeah, hi. So, maayong gabi sa imong tanan. I am Joaquin Kyle Saavedra, but everyone calls me Wax. I designed Maharlika, Karandoon, and obviously now our very big game, Gubat Banwa, Warring Realms. Should I
That's
talk about Gubat Banwa na?
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, let the
All
people
right.
know.
So, yeah, real quick for those that are watching that do not know Gubat Banwa is not much to our humor. Gubat Banwa is not Tagalog, so it does not mean forest town or jungle town. It is Bisaya, it is Cebuanan, and it means warring realms or war realms or battle realms actually. So in Gubat Banwa, you play as a Kadungganan, which means honorable or honor. Um, and these are like the knight errants, right? Like the big shots, the cavalry, the heroes that are poised to be able to change the world. And the world is, well, it's at the precipice of change. It's at the precipice of the end, right? So Gubat Banwa focuses on tactical combat. So if you like Lancer, right, or Icon, or the dreaded fourth edition Dungeons and Dragons, um, you will like Gubat Banwa a lot, as well as it's focused on narrative side is focused on generating drama, like melodrama. So if you're into like very melodramatic things, a lot of Gubat Banwa is inspired by Asian dramas where everything is like the smallest, most like petty thing is like a huge problem that they resolve in 3 1 hour long episodes. That's Gubat Banwa. So yeah, and of course the setting is inspired by Southeast Asian stories with a focus on the Filipino because that's what most of the team is. We're mostly Filipinhon, we're mostly Filipinos. But it is also a way to reconnect the Philippine archipelago to the rest of the Southeast Asian archipelago, because of like the borders and the severances forced upon us by colonization. So yeah, that's Gubat Manwa.
Sick. Yeah, all of that math they do in D&D +5 +6s. Now we roll fistfuls of dice here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying. The game feel is very good. Before we dive into the module, let's just go around and introduce ourselves. We'll go clockwise, starting from myself. Hi, I am Julian, Julie or Julie CL. I am a streamer, fantasy writer, voice actor based out of New York, and today I will be playing a character by the name of Banog, which means eagle in Bisaya. He is in the world of Gubat Banwa, a human, a kawayanon. Very angular features, and he is a senapati, which is kind of like the tactician class, which I'm very excited for. A lot of commanding allies to attack, messing with enemies, making all these lovely people do the heavy lifting for me. Shadow, do you want to introduce yourself and your character?
Yeah. Hello. I am Shadow. My pronouns are she, her. Today I'll be playing Talim. And Talim is a wonderful, fun, I'm gonna definitely butcher this word.
Pilandokan?
Pilandokan? Is that how you say it?
You say it as Pilandokan.
Pilandokan,
like
yes.
that.
Pilandokan. Okay, which is a deer folk for those of us who don't know. So it's like about like a 4-foot tall deer humanoid-esque person, who is a flower Balyan, which is like a flower necromancer, which is really, really fun. She wears kind of this intricate like headpiece that's full of flowers and gold colors with some maroon tassels. Yeah, and she is originally a honey gatherer, her and her family, pretty successful honey gatherers for their people, until they were attacked by a warring warlord, and now she is on her path of vengeance.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
Little 4-foot-tall mouse deer person on a path of vengeance.
Yes.
Right?
The bloody path
So much
to heaven.
rage, such a tiny body.
Yeah, it's like the Bambi sequel where
Yes.
it's like, oh, Bambi strikes back.
This is how Bambi 2 should have went.
Yeah.
Bambi and Gubat Banwa. That's funny. That's cool.
Amazing. Daniel, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a Mexican-born, Portland-based TTRPG player. I've been playing for a long time. I used to host a big D&D channel in Spanish about a couple of years back, and now I'm like exploring other settings, exploring other types of games. Since I played D&D basically for 2 years straight, 2 or 3 times a week. So now I'm really happy to play new things that I've never played before. I'm gonna be playing as Pamir. Pamir is noble, all dressed in gold. He bears. He's a Kawaii by man whose main conviction in life is to attain knowledge. But of course, being an aristocrat and being a noble, he was born into a lot of privilege, and he was very spoiled, and he was very and he was very a person who he was not very nice as growing up. But as he was growing up and he started becoming obsessed with knowledge, he stole something from his dad too. And as a punishment from this, he was sent to work on ships. He was sent to work on ships as a training engineer. So he's living in this double world between, like, I used to be a noble living in a golden cage, and then I was sent to like scrape a flying ships floors and walls. And so now he's back from all of that. He's learned a lot. He became a witch, Baleen witch, no, Baron witch. Baron witch, yes. While working on the ships, he basically learned a lot of engineering. He learned a lot of tool making, and once he returned to nobility life, he crafted this weapon. He crafted this parasol that is also a gun.
Hell yeah!
Gunbrella.
You'll get to meet him in a little while. I hope he's nicer than I paid him.
For the drama. This is a war drama after all. Matt, who are you playing?
Hello, my name is Matt, he, him, and I am playing Ulan, a Laxamon, aka a monkey folk. When I saw this, I got so excited because one of my favorite stories is like Sun Wukong. And so I get to be him now. Let's go. Oh my gosh. But I'm Ulan. I'd like to imagine that when he was younger, he had a lot of expectations on him to become one of the great warriors, one of the great knights. But he wasn't very strong physically. Like he could deal with the training, but just barely scrape by just because of his willpower and toughness. He wasn't really strong enough to throw the things as far as they needed to be thrown. He wasn't really good enough to shoot things as well as they needed to be shot. But because he wanted it so bad, he prayed, and prayed until finally his prayers were answered by the goddess. And, well, this gigantic bird, Baguis, came down and answered his prayers and allowed him the strength. He was one of the chosen now, so that he could become a knight with the help of the bravery of his best friend. I'm so excited, y'all. Let's go.
That's
So
great.
heartwarming.
That was so good.
So can we give Matt 5 thunderbolts for that, or?
We give Matt 5 thunderbolts immediately.
For making us all cry in the intro.
So we have Sun Wukong, and then we have Bambi. Very funny.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. Oh, and then we have a tactician that tells other people what to do, and then we have a noble that doesn't want to get touched by anything.
Yeah, I hope
All
those
right.
characters hate each other. That's the vibe.
That's gonna be very interesting. All right, cool. So before we get started, I guess I will read out real quick the content warnings for Gubat Banwa. I'm sure you guys already know the content warnings here, but for everyone else, I guess that's like watching and whatnot. So Gubat Banwa has the following content, like the following concepts. It has class struggle because of like tripartite societies and debt-based societies. The power play is integral to Gubat Banwa fiction, and the question of power is similarly reflected upon and open to analysis. And then there's going to be tremendous violence in Gubat Banwa. Combat action Gubat Banwa is about violence, not necessarily war, but battle. The extent to the gore of this violence is up to our table. Gubat Banwa does not revel in the mutilation, but there will be death and combat. And then there will be incredibly complex interpersonal relationships. This one trips up a lot of people. But Gubat Banwa systems are there to facilitate incredibly complicated interpersonal relationships that give onus to most of the sort of motives of the major characters of the game, right? And sometimes these relationships might even be abusive or dangerous, but that does lead to like the drama and then like the actions. Religion is similarly important. There will be entire people powered by their faith, both figuratively and literally, if you look at the disciplines. Religion and culture are intricately intertwined in the inspiration material. And finally, Gubat Banwa uses a very generous interpretation of gender roles in classical Southeast Asia. The default here in Gubat Banwa is very non-binary, right? We don't have they don't have the binary gender ideas in their minds, right? So we have that as a default. All right, cool. Does anyone else have any other questions before we move on? Nothing? Cool. All
Let's
right.
have fun and kill things.
Let's kill some things, you know? Cool. All right. So let's get into the mood. The module that we are going to be playing is called Shatter the Steel. All right. The world stands at the precipice of death and end, virtue and vice. The end of the blade burns with smokeless flame. Channel your virtue into something better. Channel your passion into a truth that destroys. Let destruction lead into rebirth. Eternal life, unrighteous bandits. They are broken upon the wheel all the same. Ye Kadungganan must learn how to shatter the steel. And so upon a leaden gray sky, which is split by the wings of a giant hawk eagle, or a Banog, as they would call it in the Sword Isles. We follow the Banog's flight. It arcs across this gray sky, an omen for a future storm, but not today. You wouldn't sail if there was a storm today. And then the Banog slowly glides down until our eyes can see the sort of silhouette of a merchant ship, right? it kind of looks similar to our merchant ship. Kind of looks similar to the one in the landing page, right? Very like we call it daya. It's called the sampan in other languages. Oh wait, no, it's not sampan. I forgot the term for it in English, but
Yeah,
it's
how
sampan
dare you
in
only speak
Lana.
3 languages?
Yeah, but yeah. But yeah. Uh, as our eyes settle upon the silhouette of the sampan, we see, rows and rows of servants that have been this barge basically has been given to you by the datu that has sort of hired the four of you to do his dirty work for him, right? So his warrior servants are like are rowing, and the four Kadungganan. Remember, Kadungganan are kind of on the totem pole. They're below nobles, but they are higher than other kinds of warriors. So they're a special kind of warrior class. Um, the four of you don't have to row, so if you are rowing, you should let me know. But if you're not, that's perfectly fine as well. And we'll actually know that soon because our eyes settle upon one of the Kadungganan, si Banog. Um, so Banog, can you tell us right now where you are on this little barge? It's not terribly big, but it's large enough for you to like for at least like 16 people to walk around in,
Hmm.
right? So where are you right now on this barge? And then can you explain to us? Can you describe to us how they look like physically? And then what they're doing, and then can you tell us? Can you voice out the three passions that you have for your Kadungganan?
Absolutely.
And before you go, actually, uh, Pamir, sorry, Daniel, are you in the foundry? By the way, the link is in the.
I
It's,
am.
it's okay, cool. The RVTT. It's
I am player 2.
cool. Perfect. All right, go ahead, Manog.
Great. Yeah, I think we see Banog doing his favorite thing to do, which is standing and watching.
Right.
He's a relatively short, even for Kawayanon. He's named after eagles, and he kind of looks like one. Angular nose, bags under his eyes, making him look a lot older than the 23 that he is. The dark brown hair on his head kind of spikes up at the side, adding even more to the look that he has. He was once conscripted onto a Verbanwa ship despite being born Gatusanon, so that kind of influences his fashion sense a little bit. He's wearing kind of like a collarless button-up underneath a red robe, which indeed, like, can fly out to look like eagle wings when he needs it to. But right now he's just kind of like watching over everybody, observing everyone, trying to gauge if there are any not so nice intentions. As for his passions, let me go ahead and pull those up. I scribbled them down, and the character sheet is somewhere in here. He's an edgy anime rival. That was the vibe that I wanted to encapsulate with him. His passions, I wrote down, are: it's good to make friends, but it's satisfying to make enemies. That's one. True loyalty is earned, not assumed. And finally, the strongest army and most loyal soldiers are happy and fulfilled. Just kind of keeping an eye on the rowers, making sure that there's not discontent enough to be concerned about.
Right. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So as you're looking at the rowers, right, at the ones that are paddling your little barge, another Kadungganan passes by our eye, right? And I guess we see Talim, right? So Talim, can you describe to us how you look like physically, and what you're doing right now on the boat, and then your three passions?
Yeah, so Talim, like I mentioned earlier, is like a 4 foot tall, mostly like dark brown in fur, and she has these like natural markings around her eyes that kind of create like this really like dramatic eyeliner like wing effect to her eyes, and she's dressed in silk garments that are blue and magenta. She has her flower headpiece with the gold and specifically jade flowers. And she also carries with her a parasol. That's a 2-tiered parasol that each tier has 8 like dangly like parts to it that seem to be some sort of vine intertwined with paper. And so she's holding that out, and I think she would be towards the back, but leaning over the side, and seems to be almost like gently talking. Other people would assume that she's just gently talking to the air, but to her, she's is kind of speaking just soft comforts to these wandering souls that are just always around in the world that she has this deep connection with. So she's sitting there. I couldn't think of really great quotes for her passions, but she is definitely the embodiment of quiet rage, where she's outwardly very peaceful, very caring, very loving, but once something happens or they get into a very intense situation, like the switch kind of flips, and she has difficulty holding back.
Oh wow, murderous Bambi.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. And so as you're quote unquote speaking to the air, our eyes drift up a bit as we look on forward, and we see Ulan. So Ulan, what is your Kadungganan doing right now?
Great.
And can you describe them for us physically, and then say out their 3 passions?
Yes, absolutely. So, I'd say, as Talim is like speaking to the air, Ulan is like thinks that she's talking to him, and Ulan is like, yeah, it would be nice to go for a swim. And then he decides to vault off of the side of the boat, and just like relishing in that little bit of hang time. You can see like the fabric. He's got gold, he's got blue, he's got red, a little bit of pauldron. I mean, he's supposed to have a lot more armor on. He promised his mom, but he doesn't like it because it inhibits his movement. But
Right.
I imagine that he smashes into the water with a big splash. I do have a question though. How tumultuous are the waves right now? Is it a good idea to be in the water?
Yeah. Though the waters are kind of clear right now. It's not too wavy or anything. If anything, it's a bit like stagnant. You know, like the calm before a storm, right?
Great.
Yeah.
Great. In that case, like you'd see like he dips down for a moment before you see his dyed green hair. His whole body is covered in brown fur, brown hair, except for his head. He wanted to distinguish himself from the others in his family, but he looks up to a very disapproving giant rooster, his Surimanok, Bagwis, and Ulan is just like, I told you it'd be fine. Everything's cool. And I imagine that Bagwis is just kind of like, even though Bagwis is I mean, the Sarimanok, the one who's so intertwined with like freedom and movement. He's just looking down at Ulan like, we have a job to do here.
The iconic Sarimanok like stare, gaze down. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's cool.
Oh, and the passions. I'm sorry, I lost track of things.
No worries, no worries. That's great.
So, Bagwis, the first one is that Bagwis and I are tied together. I will give everything to him because he has given everything to me. And two, I'll live to the example that the Sarimanok hold so that I can be on top of the mountain and be deserving of the gift that has been bestowed upon me. And three, the warriors of my town will regret looking down on me. I'll show them who's boss.
That's dope. That's cool. All right. For everyone else listening in right now that aren't Filipino, we can help. I'm also here to help with the pronunciations. So so we have like Ulan, right? It's Ulan.
Ulan?
And then Bagwis, it's Bagwis. And it's connected to the Tagalog word for storm, Bagyo. It's similar. And Sarimanok is, yeah, it's Sarimanok because manok means like chicken in Tagalog and in Bisaya. Yeah, so Sarimanok. And Sarimanok is like a divine bird in like Maranao culture. Cool.
All right.
Dope. All right. So as we're looking at the disapproving gaze, or not maybe this, maybe judgmental gaze of the
there we go.
of your Sarimanok as you're swimming around, you know, you're our very own Luffy right now. Our eyes gaze past that pall of judgment. And over there, finally, we see the last of the Kadungganan, right? So, Pamir, can you describe to us what your Kadungganan looks like physically, what they're doing right now on the barge, and then their three passions?
Sure. So, I am standing next to the edge of the ship, arms crossed. Pamir is maybe 170 centimeters tall, like 1.7 meters, 1.65. But he's lean. He's smaller. He feels like a small person.
Right.
So he's basically draped in this golden gowns and clothes that cover most of his smaller body. And on top of his head, there's a golden crown and a golden mask covering most of his face, like a face kini, only like showing his eyes and and his eyes are closed, and he's holding something with his right hand, like kind of like a long golden stick, just pure metal, as a cane. I don't know how hot it is.
It's actually it's more humid than hot.
Good.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. Since you're out in the sea, the air is pretty fresh. Yeah.
Good. So throughout like this golden mask, the golden mask does have kind of transparency and holes in it, so you can see part of his like face, but you can see like drips of like sweat coming over his entire face. He's drenched. At the same time, he looks completely impavid, like just looking at the horizon, closing his eyes and picturing, like for a moment, like time stops and he just pictures a 4-armed demon. He just pictures this this massive four-armed red-skinned demon. He has a dead too, and the thought scares him and just like raises his eyes again, and comes back to the world in a way. He was kind of distracted, but come back to the world and starts looking at everybody. He would probably see Ulan swimming, and speaking about Birch judging, Pamir would be judging too. He would be just like doing a very slight turn of his head. He's trying to not be distracted by anybody or anyone. He's trying to be in his cool. But for anybody who's a little bit observant, you can feel like this person is extremely uncomfortable. Just on the line of like snapping from the exhaustion, from the humidity, from the like everything about this situation is not like the things he likes, but he's used to ship life. His passions right now are I hate physical pain. My skin is a delicate flower, sacred, not to be touched.
That's cool.
My second passion is knowledge is something I can steal, grab, and hoard. This is something that got him in a lot of trouble with his datu was the word?
Datu, yeah.
Datu, which is datu. And the third passion is everything must be golden. Reflected light in metal is a blessing from the gods. So, in a way, Pamir loves reflection of light and how when light touches golden things, it's like he's looking at the eyes of the gone god itself. Right? It's like he basically he loves shiny things.
Right. That's super cool, actually, because looking at your character sheet, your wrathful facet is dark, right? So it's like
yes,
you got a bit of opposite going on there. Cool. All right, dope. I actually have like I have a funny thing to say right now. In our playtest groups, we have a running joke of cause Pamir mentioned their height, right? We have a running joke that if you're not like 5'0" to 5'5", you are like, if you're taller than 5'0" to 5'5", you are like weird. You're a weirdo. That's not Kadungganan height, as we call it.
that is true.
So,
that is true.
so when someone is like, oh yeah, I'm 5'3", I'm 5'4", I'm 5'5", we're like, yes, Kadungganan height, yeah. But if you're like taller than that, we're like, oh, you're kind of weird. Because most of us in the Philippines are like, we're small people, right? We're not tall people. Even the like, I'm like 5'8", and that's already pretty tall for most people here.
It's taller than me.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. You're Kadungganan height, so
there we go.
So yeah, that's what we say. Okay, cool. This is actually, I think this is a perfect time to real quick explain to everyone, like, so it also like comes first in your mind as well. We each Kadungganan, and really most characters in Gubat Banwa, have three facets, right? Their wrathful facet, their gentle facet, and the royal facet. If you're into astrology or anything, this is basically like your sun, moon, and rising, right? So wrathful is like your demeanor, right? It's your persona in Jungian psychology, right? It's what you use to interact with other people. But then your gentle facet is your inner wants, right? It's your inner desires. It's something you don't want to face, but you know you have to eventually. And then your royal facet is who you actually are, right? It's the combination of your wrathful and your gentle facets. It's how you deal with everything else that happens in life, right? So yeah, like wrathful is your rising, gentle is like your moon, and then royal is your sun. And then like a quick fun fact is that these are named in these ways because in like Tibetan Buddhism, many of the deities in Buddhism have like wrathful and like gentle aspects, right? So sometimes when a god or a deity needs to go, sicko mode, they're going to go on the wrathful facet, right? Yeah, they're gonna
Famously,
take
the
on the
ancient
wrathful
texts said
facet
this. Yes.
in the ancient
Yes.
texts of Southeast Asian Buddhism. Yeah, Katwang going sicko mode, but yeah. And then very commonly you will see them in their gentle facets, right? Which is what you want them to see, what you want to see them as. You do not want to see them in their wrathful facets. They're very scary. All right, cool. So bouncing off of that, actually, Banog. So you see Pamir, right? Sweating underneath all of his accoutrements. You can tell that he's visibly um uncomfortable. And while he's looking at Ulan, do you do anything about it? What do you do? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I think I'll stride over to him, my arms still kind of tucked into my cloak, again giving me the visage of like a bird perching on a branch, wings folded in. I'll just walk up to Pamir and say, "Is that the most practical attire for combat? If you're going to be running yourself ragged purely on exhaustion, I don't know how long you can aim that little gun for."
I've been telling you not to get too close, please. Yes, this is the perfect garment for combat. You'll get to see it. It's magnificent. It's beautiful. You're gonna see the glints of the sun, the glints of light, the jumping up. I don't have to explain myself to you.
You don't.
And just turns.
I urge you to keep in mind that gold is decorative and iron is what we will fight the world with, and I just stride away.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh.
All right, cool. I think this is a perfect time to tell everyone that everyone has one Thunderbolt token. Everyone starts with one Thunderbolt token. Whenever there's a rule in Gubat Banwa that says whenever you do something cool or describe something in a cool way or do something very dramatic, or when one of your passions brings you into a worse position in the fiction, you get a Thunderbolt, right? So Pamir and Banog both get a Thunderbolt. So what Thunderbolts do is that you can spend one to add like a hit immediately, like a success immediately to your roll, or you can spend one to re-roll your entire roll. You can spend 3 to change the weather during combat. And I think you can spend 5 to gain more beats, which is our action economy, right? So Thunderbolts are pretty integral to the math of the system. And that's by design. I wanted people to not forget that combat is still role playing, right? So if you die in combat, then 70% of the time it's because you weren't role playing or you weren't like describing your character's actions and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Bouncing off of that. So yeah, so Banog and Pamir should have 2 Thunderbolts each. Bouncing off of that, Talim, you see Ulan, like dilly-dallying in the water.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? How does that make Talim react or feel?
I think right as Ulan jumps into the water and makes what I'm picturing like the grandest cannonball splash that you have ever seen. Talim takes a few hurried steps back on her tiny little hooves to avoid getting wet because silk does not do well when it is wet. Right. So takes to get out of the splash, and then is also kind of like shushing those around her and is holding her little parasol. It's like hush, 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 hush. It's fine. It's fine. I will handle this. And then steps up to the little banister again. Ulan, do you think perhaps it might be a bit more effective if you remained in the boat? You need to be as battle ready as possible, right? And sometimes when we are damp and wet, we get uncomfortable, and that can cause sores and rashes. So perhaps you would like to come out and dry off.
Oh, but it's so nice and warm. The water's nice and it's perfect. It's perfect temperature. I feel like I'm battle ready right here. Like I'm getting warmed up. I'm ready to go. I mean, maybe you wanna relax a little bit. Come on down. It's fine.
Um, you know what? You're right. And then Talim is going to gently set down her parasol and take off some of her silk layers, and then will kind of will these vines from her parasol to extend to make a little ladder so that she can climb down into the water.
Oh, that's cool.
And we'll jump down and then immediately kind of does like the doggy paddle flare because she has hooves and is like, oh, this is quite refreshing. And is just gonna do that as she's trying to float alongside this boat.
Yes.
Pamir from the back just sighs, like kind of jealous of people in the water right now, and judging them.
I imagine that Baguis is right next to you and does the same sigh in unison.
Yeah. I was actually just about to say that you're both doing this under the judgmental gaze of a giant sarimanok.
Yeah.
Very funny. Very cool. All right, cool. Talim and Ulan, you both get a thunderbolt for that as well. Very cool interaction. We reward the little things here and there.
Let's go.
Cool. So as you guys are, dilly-dallying, I'm here to remind you that the four of you have been conscripted, basically, by a certain datu, right? So you've been conscripted by si Datu Panasuka, right? He is he's a powerful datu who has, capitalistic tendencies, right? He's managing his own merchant empire right now. He's trying to grow it, right? He's tending to his merchantry and trade more than his own settlement. He seeks to expand his reach and strength by growing his trading arms, right? He has given you a single task, and it's a pretty easy task for some no-name Kadungganan like you, right? You are, as we like to call it, you are legendless in this game right now. At Legend 0, you are legendless. You have no legend, but you have been given the task of killing the bandit prince Sowok, who has been a thorn on his side for the longest time, raiding Panasuka's settlements and looting his treasure ships. So shit like this is very common in Gatosanan. Like it's always raid. Like it's raid and trade. So it's like not new to you, right? It's not like some kind of blasphemous thing he's doing, that he's raiding and he's doing piracies. It's like a Thursday night for y'all, right? The things you do know about Suwok right now is that Suwok is a young warrior born to a poor port town. So Panasuka actually sent out scouts and stuff to get info on Suwok, right? Because he's that kind of guy. Just when we think of the dynamics, right, of the inter-clan, settlement politics, think of it as it's almost like mafia-esque in a way, right? Like this family hates this family because this family killed their second daughter's third son, stuff like that, right? So Suwok is a young warrior born to a poor port town that depends on trade with Tauhao. Tauhao being where the capital of Gatusan is, to gain rice. He goes raiding to accrue martial prowess and power, and very ambitious for him, his sights are set on defeating Kangdaya. Kangdaya is the capital of Gatusan. It's where the Punong Raja, Batara Ambasi, sits upon the Dawn Eater throne. He is too ambitious for his own good, but really all he wants is a town where mothers won't go hungry. That's all you know about him right now. So, let's bring it from the start. Cast the crocodile's teeth, and the thunderbolt gleams and scathes. Welcome, ye Kadungganan, ye who have no choice but to dance in the theater of tremendous violence. Who are the puppeteers but your passions and convictions? Now tell me, if you will, why have you taken up this quest? The blasted Dato of Banwa Gikuma Panasuka has hired you to hunt down the bitch bandit Prince Suwok, to stop him from raiding his settlements and stepping his trade. The thunderbolt of violence burns brightly and waits for no one. Your barge slams into the side of your prey's merchant ship. It is time for violence until glory. All this time, the rowers, as you guys are playing around, the rowers have actually been rowing faster and faster because the captain or like one of the admirals of your barge saw a merchant ship, a merchant barge that belonged to Suwok. And so you do the most common thing one does in Gubat Banwa, and it's to raid in the sea. So your ship smashes into the merchant vessel. Everyone's all the rowers, rise from their seats and start, and they use their paddles as weapons. They use them as like these long wooden sticks, and they get into a melee with the merchant vessels raiding warriors, right? The four of you, no doubt, corralled into the sort of center of your barge as you are surrounded by servant warriors that belong to Suwok. Of course, there's no time for words, right? The only conversation here is violence and steel. So violence until glory. And we get into combat immediately. We don't fuck around.
Let's go.
Right?
Murder.
All right, cool.
Murder.
So yeah, murder. So yeah, if I think now is a good time, we have a battle map ready. This encounter is called Suwok's Pirates. You are 4 Kadungganan, so you should be able to handle all these guys. You don't have to worry about them. But the starting area right now is, you guys can see the map, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, cool. So the starting area is this like 2x4 area over here. So you can actually move your characters anywhere around this like dark gray area. If you want to like position your guy easier, especially if you're a sentinel, you might want to be up front, stuff like that. So real quick, the white tiles are just like standard. They're 0 elevation. The light gray tiles are +1 elevation. So if you everyone can everyone can get into +1 elevation really, as long as you have a jump of 1, right? But the dark gray tiles are +2 elevation. So if you only have a jump of 1 and not a jump of 2, you will not be able to get onto +2 elevation unless you get on +1 elevation first, right? And then the blue tiles are -4 elevation. So if you fall a distance greater or an elevation level greater than your jump, so if your jump is 1 and you fall into -4 elevation, you suffer 4 true hits immediately. True hits means you can't reduce that damage. You will get 4 hits immediately. So you have to be careful about where you put yourself, because you can be pushed, and shoving is a basic technique, as we like to call it. And then that's mostly it. That's mostly it for now.
Great.
We let's keep things a little basic so everyone gets the hang of elevation mechanics. So very integral to Gubat Banwa map design. All right, cool. Let's go. So we begin combat. So if we move on over to, there's like on the upper right side, on like the sidebar of your foundry, there's like a sword, cross swords tab. If you get on over there, you'll see the sort of turn order we have, right? But we don't exactly have a turn order. So I'll explain real quick. Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys like double click your character, you will see your discipline trait and your inflict violences. So that's for like quick reference for y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. I don't think I set it up so that you can see the warriors stuff yet. So you're going to have to deal with some limited information while you're doing your tactics. But all right, cool. Once we say the violence mantra, which is violence until glory, we can start. We start at resound 1, right? Resound 1. That's our term for rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And always, an NPC riffs first before Kadungganan. So riffing is what we call our turns here in Gubat Banwa, right? Everything in the combat system, like most of the things in combat in the core combat system, are inspired by music or like musical terminology, and that's because combat in Gubat Banwa is to the beat of the war gongs, right? The agung, as they call it. So rounds are called resounds. The turns are called riffs, and then your actions are called your beats, right? But yeah, okay. So I'm going to riff an NPC right now. I'm going to riff the Servant Warrior. So these guys are threat 0. So you should be able to take care of them pretty easily. The question is if you can take them out in style or not, right? The Servant Warriors have a very basic gambit. They only actually have like one gambit, which is they try to rush to flank or gain vantage. They inflict violence and then they rush again. Yeah, for everyone that doesn't know, inflict violence is our term for like basic attack, right? It's just that's what we call our inflict violence. So I will riff the Servant Warrior here, the Servant Warrior A, and he has a speed of 3. So he's going to move. So moving diagonally just costs 1. So he's going to move like this: 1, 2, 3, and try to get over onto the other barge. Yeah, for you guys to visualize it, like the 2 0 elevation stuff are like your 2 barges, and then the +2 elevations are like the bridges or like the gangplanks that have been made, and then the water in between is like the sea. All right, cool. So the Servant Warrior can't reach anyone right now. At with their, so they'll probably spend their second beat to rush 4 tiles again. Oh, sorry, they have a speed of 3 tiles again. So they'll go 1, 2, and then 3. So they're over here.
Ooh.
It's actually not a good thing for them because they might get like pushed down immediately. So they will, for the third beat, they'll actually rush 1, 2, 3 over here, taking advantage of like superior movement, right? And that's gonna be their riff. That's their full riff. All right, cool. The next one to riff. So riffing is always alternating as much as possible. So when an NPC riffs, a Kadungganan riffs, NPC Kadungganan. So right now, a Kadungganan can riff. One of you guys can riff. So you guys can choose who goes first, right? Can who takes the turn first. If you need help in deciding what your turn order will be, it is the common rhythm, as we call it in terminology of the game. The common rhythm is the Sentinel should go first to sort of set up like chokeholds and stuff like that, and set up defenses. Then the Witch should go next to sort of soften up enemies. Raiders benefit from going afterwards so they can take advantage of debuffed enemies. Sharpshooters to pick off like the ones that survive the Raiders' onslaught, or to whittle down those that are too far. And the medium or the support should go afterwards so that they can assess the situation and act accordingly. If anyone needs healing, if anyone needs buffing for the next round, stuff like that. All right, cool. So who wants to riff first?
I mean, I would love to. Ulan is very much, chomping at the bit to get in the fray. If that's cool with everyone.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sweet. So, what I would like to do, seeing this brave servant warrior rush forward, I'd like to go. Can we go through our ally squares? You
can go through your ally squares, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But you can't end in them.
Okay, sounds good to me. I'm gonna go. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I can't move. Oh, it looks like the game is paused, so I can't move my token right now.
All right, can you try?
Yes.
Again.
So then I'll move past Talim and maybe just like a quick high five for sharing in a little swim. I have a speed of 4, so that'll take me here. I'd like to use one of my inflict violences on this one right here. The one that has the courage to step forth before everyone else. And I'm going to fire with my rainbow bow, an arrow of heaven. So I'm going to have to attack with faith here. So
you roll a number of d10 equal to your faith stat, right?
great.
And then you're going to want to look for anything that comes up as 6 or higher.
Sounds good. Okay, I have a 6, a 7, and an 8.
Also add another die
That's
to that
pretty good.
because you're within my warlord aura, so you get a +1 die to your attack as long as you're within burst 3, radius 3 of me.
Let's go. So 4.
All right, cool.
All right.
Oh wait, does he add a die or does he add a hit?
It says +1 die to all attack rolls.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so you should roll another die. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that one was not a hit, so that'll be 3 hits.
There's 3 hits. Pretty good, pretty good.
Yes.
All right, so the servant warrior does see your arrow of heaven coming, and he does have like a basket shield on, so you know he just raises it up in a desperate attempt to not die to a divine bird of omen.
Great.
So this is faith, right? So he will be faith always attacks resilience, while bravery always attacks posture, right? And then attacks are always d10, while defenses are always d8. So he rolls. His resilience is 1 because he's very weak at that. So he'll be rolling 1d8. Right. Let's see how it goes. He rolls a 5. So on defenses, you still look for 6 pluses on defenses, even though you're rolling a d8. So close but no cigar. He doesn't parry your attack. So he takes the full brunt of the arrow of heaven. How does that look like? So he suffers 3 hits, which brings him down to 1 hit pearl immediately.
Excellent. So I imagine that, like, I mean, in normal circumstances, Ulan is not able to pull the string back of such a mighty bow, but with the power of the Surimanok, I'm trying. We'll get there.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good already. Yeah.
But it's like as he draws it back, I imagine that it's like initially you don't see an arrow yet until he pulls it back, and then you see a multicolored, a rainbow-colored arrow appear and launch out. And as it flies forward towards the servant warrior, you see those colors stay in the air like an after image of the arrow, drawing the servant warrior forward, almost as though painting a target on Ulan, because as a result of the rainbow bow, they'll be taunted to me until the end of my next riff. So Ulan is just gonna be like, after taking that shot, he's gonna say, "You're brave. Come and get me." And I'm gonna use my last beat here to move 4 more forward.
That's smart. That's very cool. All right.
Oh, wow.
Dope. The servant warrior is chomping at the bit to get to you now. They're taunted, which means if they try to attack anyone else that's not you, they suffer -2 to their dice, and that's pretty big in the dice mechanics of this game, right? Cool. All right. Ulan, you get.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I had my warlord presence thing that I completely forgot about. When an ally starts within burst 3 of me and moves, all of my other allies can move 1. Because like I'm kind of like a general commanding everybody to move. So if we all want to scooch, if we all
everyone can move 1 tile. Go ahead.
Scooch a little bit to the side. This happens every time one of you moves. We all kind of get to move together. So I guess do we want to go straight to the right? Just like move up 1? Because we all have to choose the same direction.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, so if we all...
I have a question for my barrel wedge. How it says like the distance to which I can shoot is 4 tiles, so I need to get closer, right? Good. So
yes,
then let's get closer.
Cool. Yeah. So as you move, I just say like, "The battle begins now," or something like that, and we can all I'll scooch.
Let's go. All right. Can you guys move your characters?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go
All
one.
right, dope.
It's
That way?
kind of very low for me, the forge. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, is it slow right now? That's
It's like
interesting.
slow for me. I think it's my computer.
Ah, okay.
Probably.
I just moved you, if that helps.
Yeah.
Good.
You can check over in the settings. You can lower like the hardware, the sort of like pixel stuff, so
Oh.
that it's easier to run. The performance mode there, you can lower
Good.
it.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
Oh, also, when I end my riff, I can choose someone in range 3 to mark. Is this B guy in my range 3?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
my
Yes,
God.
he is. He
Let's
is marked.
go!
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look over, and I imagine that, like, I mean, sure, Ulan and Baguis aren't very simpatico when it comes to leisure, but when it comes to the battlefield, we're one mind. And I imagine both of us in unison look over at Servant Warrior B, and we're like, who's next?
Perfect. All right, cool. What's next? Oh yeah, Ulan. Real quick, you get a Thunderbolt token for what you just did.
Oh, sick! Thank
very
you.
Cool. So you should have 3 by now. Yeah. So
Yeah, let's
y'all,
go.
y'all should keep that. Y'all should track that.
Yes.
Okay. That's Ulan's. That's Ulan's riff. Let's move on to Servant Warrior. The Servant Warrior B is gonna move now. Actually, he will. Oh, he's marked. You marked him.
Mm-hmm.
So he has 2 really bad choices right now. It's either to go up to you and attack you, which means you'd probably have pretty good posture because you're a sentinel, or
Yeah.
he can try and his original plan was to get over here, right, to move to like flank everyone else. But if you look at your discipline trait, if they end their rift not within 2 tiles of you, which they would if they move over here, you can smite them.
Ah, yes.
Very bad. It's a very catch-22 of him. I think he'll still go over here out of like sheer hard-headedness.
Mm-hmm.
In Tagalog, we call it tigas na ulo, right? Tigas ng ulo, which literally translates to hard of head.
Hard of head.
So Certain Warrior goes 1, 2, 3, and then again, he's not gonna reach anyone right now, so he'll go 1, 2, and then he'll jump down here 3. Oh, it's not looking good for Certain Warrior B. He's gonna do something smart. He's going to deflect, right? So deflect is 1 beat. It's a basic action. It's a basic technique, and when you do it, you parry on a 5+ instead of a 6+. So your chances of getting parries or defending is higher. But yeah, and then he ends his riff, but he is not within 2 tiles of Ulan, which means
Let's
you
go.
can smite him. How does that look like? And which smite do you choose?
Okay, so what I want to do is okay, we've talked about my Soreminok's disapproving judgmental gaze. Well, right now both of us are doing that towards the servant warrior. We're looking over, just being like, and it's just the look of like disapproving dad in a way. And I'm gonna
Right.
do the one of corruption, of like so that we'll inflict 1 hit on them, and it's like they're drawn that guilt of passing up on the challenge, of not rising to the occasion. They're gonna be taunted to me, in addition to feeling that strike as Baguis is like, and just like he feels that pain through his heart of,
Okay.
maybe I'm not a warrior.
Oh man. All right, cool. That works because he has self-esteem issues now.
Yes!
He has a folk trait now. Servant Warrior B has self-esteem issues, and he's a people pleaser as well. So
Let's
it's not going well
go!
for him. All right, dope. So that's Servant Warrior B's riff. All right, Banog, Talim, or Pamir, you guys can start. Can riff, I mean.
Talim,
I'll go.
can't you throw someone into the water? Is that a thing you can do?
Yeet.
Stop. He already has self-esteem issues. I'm just kidding. So who wants to go?
I can go unless Daniel wants to go.
You go because I'm trying to figure out how to make the forge work. So you go
Okay.
first.
okay. And then
Good.
just to clarify, so with my 3 beats that I have, I can do any one of my inflict violences.
Yeah, if you want to, you
Okay.
can do all 3 if you want to.
So my first move is I'm gonna twirl my parasol and turn around to Servant Warrior B with self-esteem issues. And I'm going to reach up to one of the hanging vine paper tassels that I have on my parasol, and I'm going to rip it off of the parasol, and I'm going to fling it at Servant Warrior B. Well, at the tile next to them. So this tile there. And actually, the tile past them. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So this
Over
tile
here.
back here. Yes.
Cool.
And with that, the torn piece of my prayer paper, which is what it is, when it lands, this growth starts happening of this like mossy bogness in a sense, as I am using my Sampaguita. Is that how we say it?
Sampagita. You can get Sampagita.
Sampagita. Okay, my Sampagita fields. And so what happens is it's a burst 1 and the field arises. So whenever an enemy starts the rift within that field, they become poisoned. Which he's not already poisoned, but if he was, he would just suffer 1 attack die.
Cool.
So that's gonna land there, and as that lands there, I'm gonna make direct eye contact with this servant warrior, and in the sweetest voice possible, I'm just gonna say, "Be careful, your ancestors are watching you."
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Oh
you,
my
you
gosh.
get a thunderbolt for that. for
Yes.
sure.
And then I'm gonna turn back around, and we're not gonna talk about Servant Warrior A. We're just gonna
Actually,
we're
real
just-
quick,
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick before you go on ahead, your Sampagita field is a burst 1, but you have a discipline trait. Your discipline trait of Flower Garden means your
Oh.
fields cannot be removed by fire and are +1 size larger. So this is burst 2, actually. So this is a very big Sampagita field. It actually crawls over the side of the merchant barge and over onto the gangplanks and even onto the sea itself. So yeah,
Yes, it's just floating there.
Yeah.
keep going.
These are level 0 characters, by the way.
Yes.
This game is
They're so epic. And then as I turn back around to Servant Warrior A, so for a collision, does that only count if they collide with anything, or is that if they collide with another enemy?
If it just says collision or collide, it's collide with anything. So either a fighter or a piece of terrain or an object.
Cool. And so this light gray, the +1, is that like a railing?
Yeah, it's basically like a railing that you can step on.
Okay, so I am going to then turn back around again, swinging, twirling my parasol, ripping off another one of my prayer pieces of paper with vines, and I'm gonna fling it. But as I fling it, this whip that's jade, a bunch of like jade flowers whips out from my hand motion, attacking Servant Warrior A.
Sick. Cool.
And so that's
yeah,
so with my faith.
You should
I
roll your faith first. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And that's that many die.
+1
Yeah.
because you're next to me.
Yes.
Okay, and 6s and higher. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 hits.
Oh my god. All right. They're definitely Servant Warrior is definitely gone after this, so you can start like describing. All right. So when an NPC is defeated, they're not exactly like killed or anything unless you want to kill them, because common tradition in the Sword Isles is, like natural resources are abundant. What's not abundant is like manual labor. So very often when you defeat someone, they're indebted to you, and then they can like do stuff for you, like cook you breakfast and stuff like that. Cool. Very futile attempt at defense. The Servant Warrior. The Servant Warrior A doesn't have self-esteem issues. He used to be like the breadwinner for the family, and now he's standing there as a jade whip is rushing towards him, thinking, where did it all go wrong? Like why am I here just to suffer? Because his puny one that he gets a 1 defense at least, so he ducks under the first assault, but then the whip, I guess, like wraps around him anyway, and when the whip wraps around him, he immediately drops his weapons in defeat and accepts his fate. He's like, oh, okay, I'm good. All right, yeah, I'm done. He goes like that. All right, cool.
I will say, because my whip does slide them too.
Where do
So
you slide
I am gonna slide him up next to the banister, so like right there. I was gonna
Dope.
say, your ancestors ask you to think about what you've done. As I put them in timeout.
Yeah.
Our greatest weapon on the
That's
battlefield is
great.
disapproval.
Yeah.
You guys. That's funny. That's great. All right, cool.
We also all
these
move
guys...
1. Sorry, I should start saying that at the top of the turn. Where do we want to go?
Yeah, you should.
I mean,
Cool.
are we following Ulan across the gangplank?
Scooch top right, I guess. North one square northeast
This
if
one?
we all want to.
Cool.
Can you move me? I'm completely
Yep.
blind and forked.
Sure, I got you covered, Daniel.
We got you.
Can you see the map at least, Danielle? Or still
I
not?
I see the map, but nothing moves. It's just I have no. I'm trying to switch to Firefox.
Okay.
And see if that works better. Because right now, like, I see the map, but everything's static.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can be
Go ahead
your
and try
person
that.
if needed to.
Mhm.
I don't mind.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Don't worry. An NPC riffs now. Anyway, right now. So, what do you call this? Okay. So when an enemy is defeated, when a fighter is defeated, they don't like leave the battlefield. They slump over in the battlefield. So you can still they're still considered fighters. They just don't riff because they're defeated. So what that means is you cannot move through enemies, right? So that's actually a pretty good tactic, is to slide them after they're defeated so that they don't, clog up the space and create chokeholds potentially for the enemies. But yeah, I will riff Servant Warrior C now because we like the alphabet, I think.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Okay, Servant Warrior. I think we're gonna let's do some action. Let's make Ulan do what they're supposed to do. So the Servant Warrior C goes 1, 2, 3. Oh no, he'll move diagonally. 1, 2, 3, over there. And as he like stands on top of the banister, he like very cheekily like puts his he has like a chopping blade, right? He puts it on his shoulder, and he goes, "Oh yawa, look at that! It's the Parasol Republic. They're the ones that are attacking us right now. Oh my, spirits, ancestors. This is so funny. Why you, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at me like that? Huh? I do good things for my family." He's talking to the Sarimanok right now. "I do good things for my family. Okay? you, I will tell you on against your mother. I do not know who your mother is, but that doesn't matter right now. And then he spends his next riff to get on top of the railing.
Oh
And
my
he goes,
gosh.
let's go, dance, little birdie. And he starts slashing at you.
All right.
So his inflict violence is just blade. He attacks an adjacent fighter with bravery, and his bravery is 4, which is pretty good. He
Okay.
will hit on a 6+. Does he hit? 9, 10. He scores 2 hits on you. So go
Okay.
ahead and defend. Roll your posture as D8s.
Here
and you're
we
also
go.
looking for 6+.
I've got two 6s.
Oh, that's amazing. You're doing your job.
Yeah.
So you parry both of his hits. How does that look like?
So, you said it was with a blade?
Yeah. He had like a chopping blade, a single-edged blade.
Okay, great. So, what I'm imagining now is that, I mean, the main weapon, when I imagine that when my hands come back down, the rainbow bow disappears. But the main thing that I'm holding on to is a staff. I mean, in that position, it's a lot easier to like keep people at a distance. And with this staff, it's like I see that blade coming, and it's just a matter of like light movement and pushing away his like opposite shoulder, so that each time as he goes, he's just barely missing the Sorimanak.
That's
And
cool.
because whenever I'm attacked, I can mark the attacker.
Yes, you can.
Ulan is gonna call out, "What did you say about my best friend's mother?" And consider him marked.
He looks up at you and he says, "Who is your best friend?"
And well, Baguis is gonna go "Bark!" to
The bird is your best friend. Kayata. All these Kadungganan weirdos, all of them, always.
Oh, there's a fiery rage welling up in Ulan. It's like you see. And can I spend thunderbolts not on my turn?
What do you want to do with it?
So what I want to do is that Ulan is so angry at this that you start to see clouds form and you hear thunder.
So you want to change the weather immediately?
Yes.
All right, cool. Sure, yeah. Spend all 3 of your thunderbolts.
Yes, let's go.
And let's change the weather. What weather do you want, though? Which weather do you want? Do you want it to be a thunderstorm immediately, or just strong winds, maybe rain?
Right now, I don't want rain, but I want like the clouds to form overhead, and you start to see lightning, and it darkens the skies with our rage.
Cool. Oh wow. Okay, cool. So we'll go we're gonna put you into the possibly most complex weather we have right now, which is the thunderstorm. So let me read it out loud, right? Lightning echoes all around at the start of your riff, so that's any fighter's riff. If you're near anything that conducts electricity or wearing anything metal, electricity cackles about you. If you end your riff without doing anything about the electricity, you are struck by lightning. You suffer damage equal to 1/2 of your max HP. So if your max HP is 10, you suffer 5 hits immediately. You can remove the lightning warning by going away from anything that conducts electricity or removing metal from yourself. And then at the start of every sound, the player must roll 3 d12s onto the battle grid. Every tile a d12 lands on is struck by lightning, inflicting hits equal to the number on a d12. We can't really do that. So instead, what we'll do is roll like a 10 by 10, so d10, d10. And then we'll do like the chess thing of like it's 10, and then it's 10, and then I'll roll a d12.
I'm so sorry.
I think our tactician is fucking fuming at you right now. Looking at the metal sword in his hand and our shining golden little chess piece over there, just like...
Yeah, so if you do not want to if you're wearing gold or metal, if you do not want to get hit by lightning when you end your riff, you will want to remove that by spending a beat to do so.
Oh,
Very fun. Very cool. Cool. All right. That's Servant Warrior C's turn. He's grinning very smugly right now. But he's very scared. When the thunder like crackles, he's like, "Oh, did I scare your god, little birdie? Hmm? You know, in my place we cook you. You are pride. You are fried chicken." All right. And then that's a Servant Warrior C's turn. We still have Banog and Pamir.
Let's all
Okay, so
scooch
go
one to the
on
right, everybody.
All right.
Choo
Everyone starts
choo.
moving. Mm-hmm.
I would move. Yeah, I can move now.
Okay,
I
great.
picked it.
Oh yay!
Nice. Perfect.
I should go now because I need to hit Servant Warrior B.
Go ahead.
And if we move again, I will not. So, as the entire sky turns into thunderstorm, all of Pamir starts like tingling with like
Yes, you do.
everything he's wearing is metal.
Oh,
Not the gown he had, which was silk, but he basically looks around and just kind of like everything in Pamir's mind works like in slow motion. He just like
Right.
basically like rips open his gown, whoosh, and you see
Nice.
like this kind of golden armor, very
Oh,
um,
cool.
clinging to his entire body with like straps and strings, and like all of those
Yeah.
straps and all of those pieces of metal are like glistening with thunder.
Mhm.
Turns to Banog and says, "This is better for combat, I suppose." And as he's like surrounded with thunder, he points the golden staff that just with a click of a button opens into a massive golden parasol, pointing at Servant Warrior B, and the parasol starts spinning, and
Nice.
from Pamir's hand, this force of golden sparks start like kind of like conducting through the staff and connecting to all of the little corners of the parasol like a machine gun, and this magical force of like little bullets start like basically going through Servant Warrior B.
That's cool. You get a thunderbolt for that.
Yes.
You get a
I
thunderbolt
get
for that.
okay. I get a third thunderbolt now. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Additionally, I also have a pitch for you. On this attack, if you spend your thunderbolt on this attack, you can get one hit automatically already, like as you would normally with a thunderbolt. But also, if you describe it in a way as you redirecting lightning as it strikes you, you will not suffer the lightning at the end of your riff.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do this.
That's
do
so
this.
sick.
Let's
ahead.
do this. I love this. I love
Be the
this.
superconductor.
I will spend that
Superconductor.
thunderbolt.
Yes.
All right, cool.
I will become superconductor boy.
He's just a lightning rod now.
I'm alive. And just saying there's no thunder that can stop my rage. There's no light that doesn't reflect on gold. And just
Oh, that's slick. Cool. Yeah, when the
Yes.
lightning like strikes you too, it scintillates into gold, into Aurelian colors as well. Cool.
Yes.
Oh.
and I
Dope.
hit poor Servant Warrior B.
Servant
with my
Warrior B.
fate.
All right, go ahead and roll your fate.
My
Oh, you're-
fate, right.
You're all like faith attackers. This is the worst matchup for them.
Yay!
Oh yes.
With my fate right now being 6.
And he rolled a 2. That's so bad for him.
So
Well,
that's
plus a die
D10s,
because
right?
because you're next to me.
Yeah, so you should roll
Okay.
7
Yeah.
dice.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
7 dice. 70-10. Oh shit.
70-10. It's a lot of
So
d10s.
do I just type it 70-10?
Yeah, you can type /R and then 7d10 /R.
Oh, good. Good.
7. There you go. And then
There
if
you
you
go.
if
30.
you click on it, it opens up.
Okay, I got a 9, a 7, a 6,
Perfect.
a 9, a 7, a 6, 1. Just 9, 7,
Yes.
6 would be the
976. Yeah, and he gets no defense. He got a 2 on his defense roll, so he's completely. He's still mad. He's still like sad over self-esteem issues. It's like, oh no, it's just like my dad, you know. And then his lightning, and then the lightning smacks against him, and there's like this iridescent like light show, as it erupts from your parasol, and he's defeated. He's immediately defeated. That is going to be he's going to be blocking that spot over there. Right,
Yeah.
cool. You have 2 more beats.
And I had 2 more beats. I will use. I need to reposition myself so I can do this thing again. So my speed is 4. I can go through Banog and Talim, right?
You can also go diagonally.
Yes.
Okay, so I will go. I will go in front of Talim here. Is that fine? So, but that's that. I had to do some. I have a jump 1. Can I do that? Can I go
You
through the
can.
railing?
Yes, you can. You can.
Good. So then, basically, very gracefully, kind of like Sailor Moonish, like you see Pamir like walking and jumping through the banister to the bridge, and you see all the sweat he had been piling up from the mask, just like splashing behind him and leaving a trail of sweat, and it just glistens with gold. And shoots Servant Warrior C. Can I go through Ulan with my witch powers?
Yes, you can. Just let Ulan know that you're shooting through them, so they can move out of the way.
Now I have a final question for you before I shoot. Every single time I shot, I gain a gun charge, right?
Yes, if you shoot with your gun.
And when my rift started, I gain a gun charge. So that would be, if I shoot now, I've had 3.
Yes, if you shoot right now, you'll have 3. But before you shoot, you have 2.
Good. It's fine. I'm fine with 3 right now. It's 3 is the limit of my bravery. It's 3 plus 1, right? So I can get a 4th one without exploding.
Yeah, you're living on the edge there.
Yeah. I'm saving them for next turn. So yeah, I'm going to do the Gumbrella is still charged, and I'm just gonna keep shooting as I jump in a Sailor Moon style with a little glistening sweat.
Yes.
And shooting at Servant Warrior C, poor boy. So that's 70-10.
Go ahead. Yeah, another 70-10 because you're in the burst. You're in the aura of Banog.
Let's go.
Okay, and
This is Faith again, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot. Jesus,
6, 7,
Oh
6,
my gosh.
10.
All right, that's 3 hits. That's 3 hits. He's gonna roll his 1 defense. He gets no defense. Actually, this is 4 hits. 6,
It's 4
7,
hits.
6, 10. Yeah,
It's
4 hits.
I got a 10.
It's just enough to defeat him as well.
Dang.
How does that look like?
Oh my
And-
gosh.
Super smoggly turns back to Banog and says, "Don't ever talk about my fashion again."
Banog is just going to roll his eyes and be like, "Keep your mouth closed and keep shooting."
Hey, let's go. All right, cool.
That's my riff.
Nice.
Slick. Oof. All right, Servant Warrior C is gone. Poor guy. Servant Warrior A, B, C, D. Let's go with D. Oh, very far. D is gonna try and flank you guys, so he's gonna spend all his beats to move 9 squares. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Ooh.
Oh, not good for him. He's going to get into the field. How does that look like? Oh, they don't start the rift, so you should be fine for now. And then they end the rift there. So that's Servant Warrior D. So Banog, you're the only one that hasn't rift yet. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. Let's see. So all of those people on the other side are still left who haven't moved yet, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, everybody, let's scooch to the right. Whee! Why don't we go northeast, so that way we can use this guy's unconscious body to help block the bridge.
Oh, so we all shift this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I close enough to shift too?
No, Ulan doesn't move yet
Okay.
because
Oh,
they
yes.
weren't in the burst. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Ulan.
Let's see.
Ulan.
All of these enemies are kind of far away.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's the range on your gun, Pamir? 4. Okay.
4.
Got it.
It's 4, and I have a witch flame, which attacks in an area blast 3, and I can juggle my guns and attack enemies in an area burst 1. So yeah, it's 1, 3, and 4.
Okay, gotcha. I'm a close range fighter, and most of our people are far away, but I also want to do something about the lightning. If I take my feather-like iron blade and slam it into the ground, can it act as a lightning rod and, like, destroy part of the bridge? I know there's no
Yes.
mechanic, but I
Yes.
just
Of
think
course.
it's-
Of course that can happen. Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
Oh, that's so
Which
sick.
part of the bridge is it breaking?
I think I actually want to destroy the bottom bridge because we're all on the top one, so that they don't have a way to get over to us.
Ooh.
Does that?
So this
seem-
bridge over here.
Yeah. So I think.
Yeah, you can do that, but you do have to be adjacent to the bridge that
I
you
have
want to do it
5
with.
movement. So
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Speedy
yeah,
boy.
I am
Alright,
I
cool.
am a speedy Senapati.
Mhm.
Let's see. I am going to. How many actions is that? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I am going to skip doing keep going because nobody's taken damage. I can heal people. I don't need to. So what I'm just going to do is use my whole turn. I'm going to rush down this way, and I'm going
You
to
have to end
shout-
up here.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
1,
Still
2,
adjacent, don't
3,
worry.
4, 5. Yeah. I'm going to rush down, and as Banog runs, his red cloak flares up behind him, making him look like a bird in flight as he does so in the thunderstorm, the wind whipping it back. He has like a little anime calculation moment being like, if I let the lightning build around me for just enough time, and I'm going to give up my weapon and slam it into the ground on that bridge. And I'm going to use the rest of my movement to dash back up, so that at the end of my rift, the lightning strikes the bridge, leaving only one passage for them to get to us.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Cool. Yeah, let's do that. I will say that you have to spend 1 thunderbolt to redirect the lightning so it doesn't hit you and hits like your thing instead.
Yep.
But you get it back anyway because that's a cool thing. You know.
Cool.
So.
Nice. Still a
All
2.
right. So this entire bridge is gone as you slam it down. You rush back, and as you rush back, the lightning crashes. The bridge shatters in half, falls into the sea. The barges, like, they, there's fighting all around you, and then some of the people like topple over into the sea as the barges sort of sink into the sea for a bit and then rise up again along with the waves. And that's Banog's Rift, right? That's
Yep.
Banog's Rift.
Yep, I'm just going to
Cool.
shout at anyone else who's still daring to raise their blades against us. Even in a world of blades, the Kadungganan are like lightning!
Oh, let's go.
Because lightning hits the metal in this situation. That's
Yes, exactly. Cool. All right. I'd say you'd get another thunderbolt for that, just to keep you topped up.
Yes.
The Prentice, there's gonna be a lightning round now for all the NPCs. The Prentice B goes. They will riff. They will rush 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 over here, and then I'm going to wait a minute.
What's a lightning round?
Yeah, I just call it lightning round because they'll all go.
Oh,
All right, and then they'll try to attack a fighter in range 4. They can only really reach Ulan right now. So Ulan, They raise their hand, perform like a mudra, and then you feel an invisible force sort of condensating in front of you as if about to strike you. And it does it. You have to roll your resilience right now because they are attacking with their faith, and their faith is
Sounds
4.
good.
Oh,
Let's go.
They rolled horribly. 2 and 1 4. They do not hit you. But let's see your defense anyway.
I've got 1 success.
All right, you've defended completely.
oh.
It just slams against your bird or something. Yeah.
Great. Is this considered an attack?
Yeah, it is an attack. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I'm gonna mark them then.
they're marked again. Cool.
I'm gonna
Perfect.
point my staff over at them and say, "You stand against us, those chosen by the gods."
Oh.
How long have you had that prop, Matt?
This?
Yeah.
I've had it for years. I'm glad to be able to whip it out again.
Born to be the Monkey King.
Yeah.
Yes.
Servant Warrior E over here goes 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2,
Uh-oh.
and then this time attacks Pamir. Right. He ducks underneath Bagwis, and then strikes up with their chopping blade. So Pamir, roll your posture because there's gonna be posture. Ooh, he rolled an 8, 7, and 6, so 3 hits on Pamir.
Oh, my posture is 1, so
Oh.
yeah, it's not gonna be
Yeah.
good.
That's okay.
I can use
In the-
thunderbolts, right?
Yes, you can use thunderbolts to get parries anyway. So go ahead, roll your posture.
Direct parries?
Yeah, you can spend a thunderbolt to get 1 parry immediately. Yeah, against an
Oh,
attack.
okay. How many hits did he get?
3.
Okay, shit. So okay, I will roll a d8.
Go ahead.
Second.
So in the sort of like design of the style,
I did get a 6.
1, 6. Right, cool. So you only suffer 2 hits unless you spend thunderbolts to reduce.
And
one
I will
more.
use my 2 thunderbolts to use the parasol to like deflect both.
Cool.
Deflect
All right, so you
both.
do not suffer that.
Yes.
The
Perfect.
attacker also
So
didn't do
it's
anything
like,
about
da, da,
it,
da,
did they?
and I use the gun the gumbrella as a shield, and it's like it's like this gumbrella is kind of like a mechanical thing that just like kind of exudes magical energy or like exudes like spiritual energy. So like
Right.
when this servant warrior is trying to hit, the gumbrella kind of like resettles like or gets like thicker in where he's going to hit. Like it just opens and closes depending on what Pamir needs. That happens 2 times.
Nice.
Love it.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
All right. But the warrior does have a trait called tenacity. They have a 50% chance of pushing 1 tile. And they do. They push you 1 tile against Talim. Pamir, Talim slam against each other. Both of you suffer 1 hit immediately.
Oh no.
Our first damage.
Pamir does not apologize.
Oh, what a jerk.
That's okay. Talim wouldn't expect you to, obviously.
how does Talim react to that? Like, the slamming and the not apologizing.
I mean, we're both from Baye,
By
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Mhm.
and so I feel like Talim would be apologetic. Be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Excuse me," and
I'm the one who's standing to you.
clear. Pamir is wearing more gold than she is, so clearly Pamir is like higher, richer, noble status.
Right.
So yeah.
Pamir has
Cool.
just basically like stumbled. Like everything about this person is like just one little mistake from like falling apart in terms of like his entire like demeanor and his entire like theatricals. So when he gets hit and goes back and bumps into you under the mask, one of the reasons he has the mask, you would not see his like panicked face, like something's happening. But when you start apologizing, he regains posture and goes like, "No offense was taken."
Oh.
He was nice. Impossible. All right, cool.
He was polite.
Servant Warrior. The Servant Warrior E's riff. Servant Warrior F starts their riff now. They go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 over there, and then 1, 2, 3. They'll get around there, and then they'll attack Pamir again, because
Oh my gosh.
focus firing
Cause I'm
is
squishy.
it's basic. It's a basic tactics RPG mechanics, you know. So they attack
Oof.
you with a 4d10. Oh, this time they roll a 2 hits. They roll 2 hits against you.
Come on.
Okay, 1d8. Come on, Pamir. 10. Yes.
7.
Oh, I just got
Cool.
one.
Right. So you parry once. You only suffer 1 hit.
Yeah.
But the 50% chance of pushing, they do not push you.
Okay.
Thankfully,
Cool, no,
Quick,
yeah,
quick
I
in the
don't want to
water.
fall into the water.
you could fall into the
dripping
water.
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like
You
a
wanna-
stone and gold.
You definitely want to leave that place for sure. The apprentice goes
Yes.
1, 2, 3 over there. 4, and then they will. Oh, they can reach Banog. They can
Oh,
target
no.
Banog.
That's
They can
fine.
see Banog.
That's fine.
All right, Banog. They perform the mudra again, and then there's like a invisible lance that appears in front of you.
Mhm.
They roll 4d10. Roll your posture against this attack.
All right.
Ooh, bad roll. 1 hit on Banog.
Okay. This is a posture. You said.
Mhm.
All right.
Sorry, resilience. This
Oh,
is faith. I'm
okay.
sorry.
They are the same for me.
Okay, cool.
I got 1 success.
All right, so you parry the invisible lance away. How does that look like?
I definitely see it coming. I like wait until literally the last second, and then I bat it aside with my flowing red cape.
Yes!
The thunder strikes in the background as I do so, the cape whipping behind me.
Cool. All right, and we end resound 1 with that, and we go on to resound 2. At the beginning of resound 2, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to end the fight here if you play your cards right. But I will roll.
Lightning.
I will roll for the random lightning stuff.
Let's
This is a
go.
12. This is a 12 by 12 map. So I'll roll 2d12.
Oh, no.
And let's see, 10 and 8. I'll start counting from the top left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh no! And then 1, 2, 3,
Yes!
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't quite hit Prentice B, but it does hit this area over here, and it deals 10 damage to that tile.
Dang.
10 hits on that tile. Second one is 15, 10, and 5. Oh, I think this hits the Prentice. So that's
Uh-oh.
10 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it does not hit the Prentice.
Oh,
Very close,
close,
though.
Can
close.
we try
Oh.
to use a thunderbolt to like move that lightning a little bit to the left?
It just 1 square walks.
Unfortunately, you can't. This is like the world is greater than you right now. So for the last one, it's 6 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no.
Oh,
Then
no.
1, 2, 3. It hits the Servant Warrior. It
Oh!
deals
Let's go.
6 true hits on the Servant Warrior.
Yes!
They raise their blade, and then lightning cracks them down the middle. And they
Oh
are dead.
my gosh. My stress went from 0 to 5.
Pamir glows
Oh,
and
close.
Pamir glows in golden like
Yeah.
um, sparks. Just like you see like a mirror of like this poor guy just watches himself in a golden mirror just being fried.
Yes, exactly. All right. Since on the last resound, the last guy that riffed was an NPC, Kadungganan can riff now. So, who goes first?
Can we riff in any order?
Yes, of course.
Again.
Yeah.
I would say it would be better if I start because I have. Wait, because I do have my inflict violence, which flame,
Right.
which attacks. No, the juggle guns, which attacks all enemies in an area or burst
Mhm.
1. I would need to
Oh,
move where
That's,
Ulan is.
it connects with a lot of people, though.
No, actually,
Hey.
what I would do is I cannot stand on dead bodies, right?
You cannot end them, yeah.
Can I attack in Ulan's place and then move away? No.
You can't, because you need to end in Ulan's place first before you attack. Yeah. Alternatively, you can use Witch Blast to do a Blast 3 thing and only target. Blast 3 would look like this, right? It's 3x3. So you can do that and you only target like this. These.
And
three.
with my gun charges, I can also redirect it, right? Oh no, I push myself from the blast.
Yeah, if you can spend one gun
Blast.
charge to push yourself away from the blast. Yeah.
If you have something that includes Ulan, I think I look. Ulan
You
is
can
very
yeah,
angry
I
at
was
these
about to
guys,
say.
so I'll take it.
Oh,
I'll
shit.
take it, baby.
I can heal you too.
Good. That's the exact move I want to do.
Let's
Go.
go.
Go ahead.
Let's do that, and I will actually use my my one gun charge, so I don't explode. To like blast myself three places away from the blast. So
From blast. Yeah, you do that
Basically-
after the attack.
sure. So you'll see how Pamir, like at the beginning of the riff. Oh well, but I'm gonna shoot. So if it's the beginning of the riff, I get a gun charge, and if I shoot, I get another gun charge. So I will explode before I'm able to. Oh no, because I'm gonna use it. Sorry, I'm confused. There you go.
No worries.
I'm going. So yeah, you will see Pamir like as if like all of this like spiritual energy, the electrical golden is starting to like overload, and you start seeing like glints of light coming from under the mask and from under the armor, like as if like, it's shining, but not in a nice way, like an unstable thing. Like this, like this, he's like kind of shining in like, and the armor kind of shakes, as if like spiritual energy is like piling up inside. And he just turns, lifts the umbrella and directed towards like all that area, including Ulan, and does a
Add a die to it.
faith
too.
attack.
Yep.
Huh?
Add another
faith,
die.
a faith attack. When it says setting a flame, does this also set everything aflame? Good.
It will set the guys you hit aflame. Yeah, which means they start burning.
Okay, and it's very. It would be very Pamir not to care if he burns
Yeah.
Ulan. I am so
Exactly.
sorry. I am so
Alright,
sorry.
No worries.
What this does mean, Ulan, is that you have to roll your resilience against this as well, because you're
Okay.
included in the attack. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So go ahead and make your attack, Pamir. I think you have +1 die because of Banog, and you have
Yes.
+1 die because this is an area attack, and you have gun charges. So you have a passive.
8d10.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you roll 8 dice
Also, it's not.
against
It's
a
nine. It's
Dang.
9d10.
Oh
Yeah,
my
right,
gosh.
What?
It's not
Oh,
that
man.
good though.
1,
So it's
2, 3,
1, 2,
4,
3,
5,
4,
6.
5,
6 hits.
6.
That's
6 hits.
That's most of our HP.
That was good.
That's-
That's 6 hits, and I will like blast myself 3 spaces back.
Yes, you will.
oh my gosh.
And
I've
you'll
got
see
two-
like. That's
Go
fine.
ahead.
You'll see Pamir just like flying back from the blast
All right.
and doing like a little pirouette and landing on the ship.
Here's one thing that that is unfortunate. Oh wait, no, okay. You can push yourself in this direction, like this diagonally, so you end up here. Because if you push
Oh.
yourself in this direction, you will collide with Talim.
Hey, can I push?
Yeah.
Can I?
You can
Round
move
2.
diagonally. You can move diagonally like this.
Can I
Okay,
do
1,
it
2,
the other side? So I.
Oh yeah,
get
for
it
sure,
here.
for sure.
Oh,
Whoa,
that's so
over the
cool.
water?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, you flip
Over the
over the
water.
water.
that's
Yeah,
so
With a
sick.
little- With a little
You get a
pirouette.
thunderbolt for that.
Yes.
So
thank
sick.
you.
All right, dope. I think
I'm
you
still very
have,
unstable.
Yeah, I think you still
I
have 2
still
more
have-
beats.
Yeah. Did
Yes, you
did
do.
any of the guys die?
Let me roll their defenses real quick, right? The yeah, this guy is dead. Obviously, the warrior servant E over here is dead. Apprentice A has a resilience of 3, so they have a chance no matter how small. They also die. And then finally, the last apprentice B, they rolled 3 ones on their 3d8s. So Not very cool for them. Overkill for everyone else. 0. Ulan, why don't you roll your defenses right now?
I've got 2 successes.
Oh, cool. So you suffer 4 hits only because from the 6.
Great.
And
And
Can I
I'd
give
like
him
to
the thunder
imagine.
roll I just got to protect him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that likes to imagine that this isn't the first time that Pamir has done this. And so like when the light appears, I imagine that he can see it reflected off Prentice B's eyes, and Ulan is just like, all right, look tough. Okay, it's gonna hurt. And then just boom, it's like, oh no. It's okay. We're fine.
All right, Ulan, you
All of your
suffer
fur just like.
Yeah.
4 hits.
It's like
All
my
right,
hair's all blasted up.
Okay. Servant
Good,
Warrior D will. Oh wait, no, you still have 2 more beats. Pamir,
I
go
have
ahead.
2 more beats, but I need to
Yeah.
discharge.
You do.
but I
You
need
do.
to
Yeah, you should.
I need to discharge, and I don't know if I'm okay. Yeah, I'm going to move. I'm gonna move here just so I get in range, and
Yeah.
use my entire gun bolt. I have 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have 3 now. 4 because I just reshoot, and yeah, 3 now. And I'm
Okay.
gonna shoot 3 gun charges to make the attack true. So I'm gonna make this attack true.
Okay, cool.
And just
Actually,
Ooh.
that's a stacking thing. So you actually
okay.
ignore
So
blocking
it's one
terrain.
or the
You
other and the
hit.
other.
You hit on a 5+, and your attack is true right now.
Gun
Oh.
charge,
Oh wait, no.
okay.
These options must be bought separately. Sorry, I forgot what I wrote. You know,
Yeah.
it happens.
but I
So yeah,
can use
you'll
them
make it
indistinctly,
true.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you can.
So I'm gonna use my 3 gun charges to make this attack true, and
Mhm.
just like a sniper, like he points the gun umbrella, and it just turns like it just rolls into like a long thing, like pointy
Mhm.
thing, and just shoots 1 bullet to the servant warrior
Oh
D
my god.
with all those horrifying dice.
Poor guy with 1 resilience. He rolls a 2, so he will not
God.
parry this.
So what does true mean in
attack.
this context? Does that mean
True means you cannot evade it or guard against
Oh,
it.
okay.
So guard is like if you're adjacent to someone that you're guarding, there's a 50% chance of the guardian getting hit instead of the target, the original target. But true ignores that.
So yeah,
Ouch.
this is
That's
1, 2,
rough.
3, 4, 5, 6 hits.
That is a lot.
Oh
6
my
hits with no
gosh.
parries. Yeah, that's the end of
Yeah.
Servant Warrior D.
Pamir is very extra, so he shoots 6 times, even though the
Oh.
first one hit. It's like da 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 da.
Right. Slick.
Oh my god.
Okay, cool. Banog and Talim, there's a few more stragglers left around. How do you deal with those?
You want to go first?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still reeling from what just happened.
I just don't know what just fucking happened.
I think when possible, Talim would be using her jade whip, to like just start flinging them off of the boat.
Nice. Alright.
Like as much as possible. Just all right, you're gone. There's another one, and then just kind of like slowly just we're done here. There's lightning, and I would like to leave.
Amazing. Banog, having given up his blade to destroy the bridge, is going to very much take a leadership role right now and be like, seize the ship, make sure there's not an ambush hiding in any hidden places. Just trying to make sure that we
Good.
are totally secure, taking stock of all the weapons in inventory, once again standing dramatically as that cloak flies behind them, billowed by the thunderstorm like eagle wings, and then looks over to Pamir and goes, as always, you're very powerful, but when you treat everything like a door to be hit by a battering ram, remember someone must clean up the pieces. Cape, walk
Oh.
away.
Oh.
Let's go. All right, Talim and Banog both get a thunderbolt for that as well.
Nice.
That's crazy. Cool. All right, that's the end of violence. The fight ends with the water in between your barges stained red with your sins. However, Subuk is nowhere to be found. A few workers that did not fight have surrendered, including their main navigator, a blindfolded woman Balyan named Kaka, who has bonded with the spider god.
Sorry for interrupting, but did our self problematic servant were be surrendered to?
Yeah. Everyone you defeated, they've all surrendered to you right now.
Yeah, it would be good if
Would you like a
Servant
name for
Warrior
them?
Bee-
Would you like to talk to Servant Warrior B?
I just felt very connected with him.
Roll me a D100 right now.
Okay.
Oh, the random name.
It is a 66.
66.
Whoa.
All right, so this person, this servant B, they wake up and you're near them. They're like, "Oh no, have I done wrong again?" When you ask them their name, they tell you, I am known as Akasha back in my community, but it is up to you what you will call me from now on, stuff like that. So yeah. We've already established that they are a people pleaser with self-esteem issues. Can you roll me another D100 for the last folk trait? So this is actually one of my favorite things about Gubat Banwa is all the divinations I've made, all the oracles I've made. So you can make NPCs on the fly just by rolling all these things, right?
It's 58.
So 58. So they have self-esteem issues, they're a people pleaser, but they're secretive. So they are, my name is Akasha, but since you have left me alive, then I will gladly, do what you will. I'm in your debt, as they always say. So yeah, with that in mind, so at least now you know Akasha. But back to Flower Balyan, Flower Balyan, the woman Balyan, si Kaka. She walks forward. She has a blindfold on. She's kind of young, probably not like just left like 20 harvests basically. And then she offers you help. She offers you help when the storm dies down for a bit and the lightning sort of subsides for just a moment. She says, I can show the Suwok's cave, his base of operations. And then she removes her blindfold and reveals that her eyes have been kind of replaced by spider eyes, right? And she says, in return for my freedom. For my freedom. And yeah, go ahead, Talim.
So at that, Talim would twirl her parasol again, and would very darkly say, "And how can we trust that you are not misleading us?"
She's like folding her blindfold very matronly, and she says, I do not show my eyes to just anyone. Ooh. And it is far too long that I have toiled under Suwok and his childish actions. If you need even more proof that I will not betray you, she reaches her hand out, and as she reaches her hand out, a knife, she very deftly like flips a knife out of it, and then the knife, like behind her wrists, she utters a word, and behind her wrists, spider legs like burst out of it, grab the knife, and then cut her palm, and then blood drips down it, and she says, "Consider this kasi, blood compact.
Ooh.
May the ancestors and may the gods steal my heart and burn my liver if I cheat and deceive you. Says. And as a flower Balyan Talim, you know that this is one of the deepest, both political and religious oaths that you can take here in Gubat Banwa.
Wow.
So what do you say to that?
I am grateful for your truth and honesty. And your ancestors are too. And Talim's gonna bow. And as she bows, kind of this overwhelming scent of jade kind of like fills the area.
Right. Cool. Perfect. Any words from Banog and Pamir and Ulan?
Pamir, the only thing you would see about Pamir right now is that being hurts him 3 times. Like he hates being touched,
Right.
hates his skin being and he got hit bad. So if people are not seeing him, he would be sitting somewhere just like waiting for the pain to pass and like trying to like be strong, but I'm really hoping no one is seeing him, and that would be, you would not see him unless you're like looking for him.
Ah.
How about Ulan and Banog?
So Ulan, I'd imagine that like in any sort of meeting, especially when we're negotiating, Ulan isn't usually very vocal because he kind of rushes into things, and he doesn't. I mean, in past experience, that's not great. But he would be kind of watching over, and with this blood compact being set, Ulan was watching to make sure that she didn't betray Talim at all. But Ulan would move forward and try to look as intimidating as possible and say, if you break that, your ancestors will be the least of your worries.
Ooh.
And then Ulan is going to turn around and try to walk off toughly, but you just kind of see him kind of like, ow, still smarting from the blast earlier.
Cool. And how about Banog?
Do you have a tail?
Yes, absolutely. Well, maybe not anymore. I don't know.
Maybe the tip of your tail is still smoking.
Yes, absolutely.
That's cute.
Hell yeah.
All right, how about Banog?
Banog is going to just kind of place a hand on his chin thoughtfully and enter his thinking posture, where he hunches a little bit and goes from looking like a proud eagle to a bit more like a vulture as he's kind of like hunching forward, with the cloak billowing up behind him. Then he's going to step up to his compatriots and start speaking whether or not Pamir makes himself visible, and just say, "We can't lose sight of the task at hand. Suwok is not here. That means he's gaining ground on us. We have to keep moving as quickly as possible."
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So, as you say that, the rest of the fighting immediately dies down. The 2 ships prepare to set sail. The first ship, the merchant vessel that you rammed, can still, it can still sail. So it promises to lead you towards Soak Cave, and you follow along with it. And so you cut through the seas towards your destiny. But we'll see what happens on the way. No, I'll phrase it like this. What happens on the way to Suwok's Cave? Find out next time on Shatter the Steel.
Yes.
All right. So with that, we end the session. Good job, guys. But I think we have some pretty interesting scenes we can prepare for next session. Particularly, what if someone finds Pamir in their like fugue state, right? Or what if someone talks to Akasha because you've made an NPC Blorbo now, right?
Yeah.
They exist now.
Yeah, they exist now. But yeah, so that's that for session 1 of Shatter the Steel. That is 1 out of 3 encounters. The next session is we're gonna reckon with the moon mechanics. So a lot more free form, so everyone gets to to do non-combat stuff with their characters more. Um, but yeah, that's Gubat Banwa for everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Amazing.
So much fun. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Absolutely
Yeah.
epic.
Seems like a lot of
But yeah.
people in this chat are getting really hyped about this system. It is available for purchase now, just now in this updated version. There's also a Discord server that you can join. I'm going to send the invite to all of you because I forgot to do that. So there's a lot of wonderful resources for the community, sprite art, tokens, etc. Um, uh, why don't we start with walks and then we'll go clockwise from there, and we can just share where to find each other and yeah, all that before we see everyone next week.
All right, cool. Yeah, so you can again, it's Wax. You can find me in Makapatag almost anywhere. Um, I recommend buying Gubat Banwa. It's pretty good. There is, I guess we started. I actually talked with Jules about this because we have our Kickstarter coming very soon, next month, actually September, and that's going to fund printing all the way to the US and the EU with an entirely new layout and with not hundreds, but like a lot of new art. Um, uh, all mostly from Southeast Asia and the Philippines. So it's going to be a big sort of love letter to Southeast Asian arts and culture. So please do support us. You can find the link over at Play Gubat Banwa on twitter.com/playgubat. Is this x.com/ playgubat
It
banwa?
still works.
Twitter still works. Okay, yeah. /
Potato,
playgubat
potato.
banwa. And you will find the Kickstarter link there. You can like it's the pre-launch page, so you can notify yourself when it goes live. We have some pretty cool stretch goals. We have some pretty cool reward tiers that some people might like. So um please do support us. Thank you so much, guys.
Hell yeah. Shadow, where can people find you?
Yeah, people can find me here on Twitch at ShadowSilvia. Twitter, it's Shadow Bookcat. Anywhere else, it's ShadowSilvia. So any other social media platform, it's ShadowSilvia. Twitter is just the random one because we can't change our names anymore. So yeah, so that was me. I, besides playing TTRPGs, I am a mostly daytime streamer. If you're on the East Coast of the United States, anywhere else in the world, I'm like an evening late night streamer. So feel free to hang out whenever you want. I play cozy games, so that's me. Yeah.
This is a very not cozy game. So
Yeah,
that's very
not
funny.
cozy game.
They made a cozy character though.
Yeah, it's a very cozy character. Yeah.
Daniel.
Good. So you can find me at most social media with the at DMTTA, DMTTA. And I used to be a lot around Twitter, but I'm more Instagram. I'm Instagramming more lately, and I'm trying out the blue skies and I'm trying out the threads, hoping to scratch that itch that Twitter left behind. But this has been amazing, and I can't wait for this Friday.
Hell yeah, Matt.
Hey, I'm Matt. You can find me everywhere as Improv and RPG. I'm running a game of Flabbergasted tomorrow evening, so we're going to be rocking some kind of Jeeves and Wooster style vibes. Just a lot of hilarity all around. But yeah, thank y'all so much. It has been such a blast to play. Goodness, this is amazing.
Oh yeah, all
Thank
the
you so
kudos
much.
to Walks for bringing this wonderful game. All the time and effort you and Dylan, everybody has put in, really shines through. This game absolutely changed the way that I view TTRPGs, and has been very validating for me in regards to
Right.
having a dad who fled the Philippines during the Marcos regime and now grew up
Right.
American, knowing very little about what things are like back there. It's been wonderful to dive into. So please support the system. There will be another Gubat Banwa stream tomorrow evening Eastern time. featuring our dear god mod Timmy Slimmy, who has been hyping up the chat.
Wow.
As well as Mel, a fellow Filipino American New Yorker, and Tony. Everybody here is also everyone here, all the players here, are involved or have been involved with Roll D5, which is our indie TTRPG channel where I first tried Gubat Banwa for the first time for a charity stream. So if you want to support more indie games, check it out there. But if you're looking to pick up an awesome combat system, there's a wonderful tight-knit community for this one. So there are resources to learn it, to play it, and yeah, we'll catch you all next week. Same time, same place.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Heck yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.